Hi, it's Marcus here, and we're really privileged to be here with Samuel Leeds in his beautiful home here. It is I'm telling you, it is a stonker of a mansion in a really lovely part of London. And we've known each other for several years, but I've never actually I haven't interviewed anybody. So you're my first, darling. So basically what we're doing is we are asking an extremely successful entrepreneur, property investor, father, husband, exactly how he became so successful. How does he think in order to help you become even more successful, even faster than you are now? So I'm really looking forward to this interview. So Samuel, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so Samuel, great to see you in your new house. It's absolutely fantastic, I have to say.
Thanks so much.
I mean, it's a mansion.
Is it the first time you've been here?
First time.
Oh man,
Yeah.
too much time has passed and we've not seen each other.
I know, that's very, very true. But when did we meet?
Okay, the first time I saw you was when you were on stage with Harv Eker, T. Harv Eker, and I remember just thinking, wow, like this guy, you and Harv. I was maybe 18. It was probably about 10 years ago. And, if I'd have known that 10 years later I would be sat in my house with you as good friends, I wouldn't have believed it.
Brilliant. So that was at the MMI?
That was at MMI.
Millionaire Mind
in London at the Ibis Hotel.
That's fantastic. And then I think we met as well in Thailand was the next time we met, right?
The next time we met was when, in Thailand, you were checking in. I bumped into you. I overheard you complaining to the receptionist that there was no bath in your room. I even offered you to have my bath.
That sounds like me. That was you, yes, I remember that.
I was like, you can have my bath.
Yeah.
Anything to be in with Marcus de Maria.
Yeah, you wanted to be in the bath with me.
Not in the bath with you, just in, connected.
All right, okay.
And you were like, it's okay. Yeah.
That was brilliant. What were we doing in Thailand?
That was, I think that was 2015, 2016.
Right.
Maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
So that was teaching you how to basically...
be a better communicator, a better speaker.
Better speaker, irresistible offers, etc.
Yeah, because I'd been in property for like 5 years and I wanted to share my message. So I came to that program and that completely changed my life again. So I got a lot to be thankful for, and you helped me massively with on the training side of the business. And
you've done extremely well, because I remember you in the audience. I remember out of everybody there, I remember that you were one of the few that had the energy, and that's why I kept in touch with you, because you had that energy. It's also because we were both from the UK.
Yeah.
But did you ever think that you would be, when you were in Thailand, making the stage, offering to share your bath with me, did you ever think that you'd be as successful as you are now?
No, I didn't. In fact, at that program, Making the Stage in Thailand, it crushed me so bad. At one point, I remember thinking, maybe I'm just not cut out for this.
At what stage was that? Which room was that?
That was in...
Wasn't in my room.
No, in your room. That wasn't in your room. I think it was just on the second or third day.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, I did.
But that's good. That's a process we go. That's good.
Yeah, and I remember thinking maybe I'm not cut out to be a speaker, because I went probably a bit arrogant, really, thinking, I've done so well in property. I'm a great speaker, and I'll just polish up on my skills. But actually, it crushed me, and I remember thinking, maybe I'm not cut out for this. And then by the time I left, although I was broken, they almost break you and then rebuild you. And by the time I left, I remember just thinking, it was rather than thinking about the size of my business or how many people I could touch and how big my venues could be, it was more about trying to create big people rather than big numbers. And after that, I remember just thinking, I just want to help people become the best version of themselves they can, pass on, so a real kind of trying to serve people rather than just trying to grow a business.
Do you think that helped you? Because when you make it about yourself, then sometimes some of the limiting beliefs come up, but when you do it for other people, there aren't any limiting beliefs, because you can help
funny, and it's funny we're talking training so much, because I guess the thing we share in common is we're both trainers. We're also investors. You're into stocks and all that stuff. I'm into property. But the thing the thing that connected us to begin with was the fact to train. And I say the difference between a trainer and a speaker is it's all about them, which is what I used to be when I'd speak on stage, share my story. It's all about me, and aren't I great? And then actually, when you learn to be a trainer, it's something not about you, it's about them and training them.
Yeah.
And you really helped me with that. So again, really grateful. And the training business has been brilliant. It's helped me immensely because the best way to learn is to teach. And I've got very, very good at property. My property business has blown up as a result. Last year I bought a castle, and I'm doing a lot of big development deals, buying, building, selling houses, and yeah, you know, really, really enjoying life, enjoying business.
So that's an interesting point. So actually by helping other people, but also by having to stay at the forefront and at the bleeding edge of what you teach people because the market changes, it's actually helped your investing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even doing YouTube videos, like I'm quite well known on YouTube for doing YouTube videos about property investment, and doing a video every single day. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, you know, what can I talk about? And I'll research, and then, oh wow, I just learned something new. So yeah, for sure, I think teaching is just the best way to know something. So I've become so engrossed in learning more and becoming more, and then you produce more. So
brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. And you decided on property. Why is that? Because I know that your mother was involved in property as well.
Yeah.
So is that why property, or?
I think the reason I got into property was because I just understood it. Yeah. So with a lot of, I'm not the most educated person, you know, in the world, and I just thought, listen, if I'm buying a house, the house is going to outlive me. It's you can see it, you can touch it, you can feel it. So I think that was the initial thing. I just really wanted to buy a house. So I bought my first house, and I did it strategically. I creatively managed to do it without using any of my own money. And when I got that first house and rented it out, I just got addicted to it, really, and just kept building my portfolio. Started with nothing. And although my mum was in property, you know, I grew up very, you know, kind of humble family, single mom.
No, I think that some people's parents have property, but that doesn't mean that the next generation picks it up, and you did.
Well, my mum helped me. Well, she got married when I was 12, and my stepdad was a chartered accountant, and he didn't have any mortgage on his house. And just before I left school, he decided to refinance the house and buy some properties. And I was like, that sounds cool. Yeah, how can I get involved? And he didn't give me any money, but what he did was he believed in me, and he was also a mortgage host. So my first property, I was too young to get a mortgage, and he was like a guarantor. So, you know, again, grateful. Arnold Schwarzenegger says, no one's self-made. So whilst no one gave me any money, people have supported me, given me opportunities, you've helped me. So, you know.
Where does mindset and psychology come into this? Because you just said something really interesting. You said, I'm not particularly, what did you say, educated?
Educated.
But immediately what sprung up for me is, well, hold on a moment. You're talking about a formal education.
Yes.
But you're very self-educated.
Yes.
So you are very educated.
I guess what I meant was
school. When
I started in business, I wasn't educated. And yeah, a massive difference between, Jim Rohn says this, self-education, formal education. Formal education will make you a living, self-education will make you a fortune. And I've spent 7 figures, millions of pounds on consultation, education, personal development, training courses. I mean, that course that I went on in Thailand was like maybe 10 grand.
Yeah. Now hold on. So seriously, like, would you say how much have you spent?
Over 2 million.
On your education?
On my education in the last 10 years.
That is a lot of money.
Yeah, and that includes consultation as well, like professional consultation.
But I always say that it doesn't matter. I mean, obviously not everybody has that much, but what I'm assuming is you paid for something and you learned what to do, and then you made more money, and then you reinvested that money in your education. It's not like you had, I've got 2 million here, teach me.
No. It was a slow. It's like if you put £1 in a slot machine and £2 comes out, you'd be crazy not to put more money in. So I started. I mean, when I was 17, I remember spending a couple £1,000s on a property training course, and it felt like a lot. That was all of my paper round money from a kid gone. You know, it felt like a lot, and people said, "That's crazy. You shouldn't do that." 17.
Brilliant.
So I spent £2,000, and it felt like a lot. But then I got a house. So I'd have been crazy to not think, well, I'm going to go and get some. I'm going to go and learn more.
But so if it doesn't matter, like what? So we teach the different pillars. We don't teach them, but we say there are different pillars, and you should have not just one, like a career or a job. You should have another one. It could be property, it could be stocks, it could be internet marketing, it could be your business or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So the pillars are very important to make a solid foundation and have that. And you decided that property was the main one for you, as well as business.
Yeah.
Okay. and now you use internet marketing in order to help them. I actually differentiate the two. I know it's part of business, but it's kind of its own pillar as well, because people are making so much money out of it. And we teach that 80% of success is mindset. Would you agree? Would you disagree? What would you say about that?
Yeah, I would say that 80% of success is the person, and you can become that person. It's not a case of, oh, you're born with it or you're not.
Do you not think so?
Do I not think what?
So you don't think that you're born with it?
No, I think you can learn it.
Do you think some people are born with it though?
Well, I think there's always genetics. Depends what you want to be and what you mean by it.
Yeah.
But being successful is a learned skill.
Great.
100%.
Yeah. But you need to have money though, because you spent 2 million.
No, but I started off by spending 2,000 from paper rounds. And then I just worked up to 2,000.
What if somebody doesn't have 2,000?
Well, I did it with from paper rounds as a kid.
So I mean,
go get a frigging paper round.
Exactly. So that's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot of paper rounds,
mate. Oh yeah, paper. While I was at school, I was the most crazy kid because I had loads of paper rounds. I used to buy and sell stuff at school. In my holidays, like I remember go on a crash course to learn how to plaster, and then for my work experience, go and work on a building site. And then while I was at school, I used to advertise for my plastering business because I could plaster, but because I was busy at school and stuff and I couldn't really do it, I then used to, a lot of people were getting made redundant, plasterers, and I'd send them out to go and do the job, and then I would get the work and go 50-50, and I was like 15.
Hold on, but okay, so here we go again, all right? I'm going to come back to my previous question about, it sounds to me, tell me if I'm right or wrong, whether you might have had a formal education, whatever, but you're street smart.
Yeah.
What if somebody isn't street smart?
But you say street smart, but I messed up a lot, so I did that while I was 15, but I got myself in right messes.
Right, okay, so that's the other side.
Maybe I wasn't street smart, maybe I just was courageous enough to do it.
You went through loads of things that didn't work, but that one did.
Yeah.
And that got you to the next level. Then you've F-U-C-K'd up.
You know what? Something not working. Always things aren't going to work. Right. But it's just a case of just doing lots of things and keep doing it. And then when you fail, just try again or learn from it and tweak it. You can't say it didn't work. Nothing just doesn't work. You just have to just do something a little different and then make it work.
That's a powerful message. So if that's the case, if you don't want to spend 10 years getting to the thing, what do you need to do to speed up the process?
To speed up the process of something working?
Yeah.
I guess it depends on what the end goal is.
Well, let's say it's to have 2 properties, for example.
Yeah.
And somebody like looking now would say, well, I mean, I don't really make enough money now, and now I think, oh, paper round or something to make some money. And then you said, okay, I made loads of mistakes as well in order to get to something that actually did work. So is there a way of speeding up the process of getting there?
I think just to find people that have done it before and learn from them.
Right.
So be obsessed, work harder. Jim Rohn says this, great. Jim Rohn I love. He says, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. So I think most people don't work hard on themselves at all, actually.
So what does working on yourself mean?
Working on yourself means deliberately getting better at stuff, or as a person. So rather than
is that a skill or is that a mindset? Is it both?
It could be both. So part of that could be meditation. That's working on yourself, working on your well-being, working on figuring yourself out, working on reading, getting skills, going on seminars and courses. Just being. I mean, I think the person who is the more obsessed you are with getting better. No one just becomes successful by mistake. It doesn't just happen by mistake. You've got to get good. Again, Jim Rohn, I'll quote him. He says, "Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. Just get better."
So it's interesting. So you just said work more on yourself than your job. But if you're spending 8 hours or 10 hours working for somebody else, so are you saying spend 8 or 9 hours or 11 hours working on yourself? What do you mean by work more on yourself than your job?
Maybe I guess it could be in terms of hours, but just in terms of focus. You know,
laser.
Yeah, laser focused on getting better. I mean, even now I'm still obsessed with getting better.
Plus, I guess you do tend to waste a lot of time in meetings and stuff like that in a job, as opposed to just doing the actual thing. Yeah, they say like the average employee just works for 2 to 3 hours because there's so much waste.
Probably.
So that being the case, then, like, what should people do? Like, mornings, lunchtimes, evenings. Is it reading? Is it listening to podcasts? Is it going to your channel? I mean, what?
Yeah, and I think as well, if you say to someone you should read this many books and do this much, it's more of a falling in love with it, So if you really have a burning passion to get good at making money or to get good at anything, it's just something that you just do all the time, rather than saying you've got to do this, you've got to do that. And I think that is the root of being successful. Being successful is the fruit, but actually the root is just being obsessed with getting the skills and getting good. And that's why I run a training company.
And then do you think that if they chose which of the 5 pillars was the right one for them, and they focus a laser beam focus on themselves and on the material, then the money will follow?
Yeah, 100%. Money is a result. That's what they teach at Millionaire Mind Intensive. Money is a result, and I don't tend to focus that much on the money these days. For me, I focus more on other stuff. Money follows. Albert Einstein says, "Don't try and be successful. Try and be valuable. And if you're valuable, then the money will follow."
So you don't think rich people focus on money then?
I don't know. I mean, of course, money's the score, right? So
keeping tabs.
It keeps tabs of how well you do. So don't get me wrong. I am wanting to see every month. What did we make? What's going on? What did we spend? What's our net profit? But that's not on a day-to-day. I'm not thinking, get money, get money, get money. I don't.
If anything, I guess people who don't have money and lacking it at the moment, that can change.
Well, I'll tell you something. When I was really scared that if I really went after money, I'd fall in love with it and it would change me.
Okay. I know you're religious.
Yeah, Christian.
So there's a quote in the Bible. What is the actual quote?
The actual quote is that you cannot serve both God and money.
Okay, so explain that to me.
So the Bible says you cannot serve God and also serve money.
Serve. So is that? Well, I don't understand what.
Well, for me, what that used to mean was you have a choice. You can either strive for riches, or you can strive to be a spiritual good person, but you can't have both.
So is that what you said just now about adding value to other people? Maybe.
I mean, I think that growing up, my church was an ex-brethren church, and it was definitely the mindset. People would wear poverty like a badge of honour. So going from that, that in my head,
especially if everybody else is as well.
Yeah.
Then it's good, right?
But the interesting thing that happened was, when I became wealthy, when I became successful, there were some churches that would celebrate that, but almost not in a healthy way, because it was like, if you're rich and successful, then that's God blessing you.
Okay.
But if you've got problems and you're sick and you haven't got money, you're being punished by God because you must be doing something wrong. You must be in sin.
Oh wow. Okay. So they went, but your church wasn't like that, right?
My church was the opposite, but actually it's the same, because the same message is that there's a correlation between how good you are as a person and how much money you have. And actually, I don't think there is a correlation.
Interesting.
I've met people who are really rich who are complete jerks, and I've met people that are really poor who are complete jerks.
So they're just people.
So knowing that there's no correlation between how good you are and how much money you have, because actually, if you say how much money I have defines me as a person, then I think that's just a bit messed up.
That's a bit of a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Well. Because if you value yourself because of something and you lose it, then your value goes down.
Yeah.
I mean, how does that? I don't personally get
And here's what I think: you can't.
You start doubting yourself.
Yeah. But the quote, as a Christian, what I realised was that you can't. Maybe you can't serve God and serve money, but you can serve God through money, and money is just a tool that can be used.
Okay.
So now I do a lot of work. I've got a charity, Samuel Leeds Foundation, and if it wasn't for my business, I wouldn't be able to fund that.
Right.
So actually, money is a tool.
Yes. To do good or bad.
Yeah, to do whatever.
So what about the other quote then, which is, people say that money is the root of all evil, whereas the actual quote, I think, is the love of money.
Yes, and I studied that. I actually studied ancient Greek and Hebrew. Okay. And the phrase, the love of money in the Bible, is actually one word. I can't remember the word, but what it means is it's an absolute obsession, never ending.
Yeah.
That's what it's talking about. So And again, if you hold anything like this, it's not good.
Well, you just lose who you are, your identity.
Yeah, and not only that, but not just money. That's anything.
Anything, yeah.
If you cling,
you lose yourself.
There's something that's
to a relationship, another person.
Yeah, my pastor Gary Spicer, he says that everything on this earth is leasehold. We come in with nothing, we leave with nothing, and we're just stewards in between. And I love that.
Was he into property as well?
I think he might be a little bit.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, he's a great guy, but just the whole concept of having a lot of money but holding it with open hands.
Yes.
Having a lot of knowledge but being open with it.
Well, it's not ours anyway, is it? It's just energy.
Yeah.
And we have it for a bit, then we pass on.
Yeah.
It's not our, we
and
can't take it with
on.
us.
No, we
can
can't.
So
and when you hold things with open hands and a generous heart, you're actually open to receive more as well. Whereas when you hold it like this, it's just, I don't think it's healthy. So whilst I make a lot of money, and I'm very proud to make a lot of money because I've worked really hard, I think that it is important. When you make a lot of money, you do have a responsibility and a duty of care to be responsible with that. I really believe that.
yeah, no, I'm sure you do. Absolutely. Yeah. So I know you've had a lot of success financially. I know you've had a lot of success in property, which then also is financially. I know you've had a lot of success helping other people doing the same.
Yeah.
You get a lot of people who really enjoy your shows, especially when you go out there. And I want to talk about that in a moment, where you go and you go back and as if you are starting from zero again, and you put yourself in there. Not a lot of people would. In fact, I don't know anybody who does that, right? But you must also get some haters as well.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
There's haters, there's critics, and there's trolls. And a critic is someone that will tell you something that you're doing that's not good, but usually with the intention for you to be better.
That's good. So critics are good.
Critics are great. I like critics.
Yeah.
I'll always listen. I'll always respond.
Yeah.
Like critics. A critic might be someone.
Feedback.
Yeah. Samuel, the music on your YouTube videos is just too loud and it actually distracts from the message. Sort it out. That's
Brilliant.
a critic. I'll give them a thumbs up.
Yeah.
So thanks for the feedback.
I always say in my business, we just improved our business by 1%.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
A hater is someone that maybe is just jealous or they've had a really bad day and they're taking that out on you.
Okay.
So they'll just say, you're fat or whatever. And haters, I just love them, bless them. I'll just sort of say, yeah. There's a book that's called Hug Your Haters, and it just says just love your haters because it's and the Bible says a soft answer turns away wrath.
Ooh, nice.
So just love your haters. And then there's trolls, and a troll is someone that will just very deranged people or strange people that will just continually spam you.
So they sound obsessed.
Very obsessed.
Like you were just saying, they're holding on to something.
Yeah.
In fact.
And they'll just like comment on every video and all that. Those people I just block.
So it sounds like they actually have the problem. That's what it sounds
but sometimes some of my trolls who just, seem to just hate me or my message. Very strange people. Like I'll click on them, say on Facebook, and then I'll click on the message box and I'll see that actually like 2 years ago they were saying, Samuel, I love your videos. Can we meet for coffee? Question mark.
Oh.
And actually, were obsessed with me in a very strange love way.
You didn't reply.
Maybe I didn't reply because I get too many messages.
Of course.
And then that love obsession turns into a hate obsession, and then that's why they just troll.
Very interesting.
So those people, hey, I love them. I love them. I haven't got any.
You didn't give them significance.
Maybe it's my fault. But someone said, "How do you deal with jealous people?" I said, "I don't deal with it. That's for them to deal with."
Yeah.
It's not my issue. So, yeah. I guess I'm just doing my thing. I always say, for every one hater, you've helped 100.
So you don't look too much. I know that some people, about the likes and, you must go, look, but you don't like go, I've got so many, and if I don't, what you were saying before, your feeling of worth doesn't go down if you don't have any.
Don't get me wrong. If a video goes viral or if I get loads of views on a video, it's great, and I like it, and I check it, and I read the comments and stuff. But I think there's the online world, and then there's the real world. And sometimes you do need to separate the two because you can be, really popular 1 minute online and then suddenly next minute really unpopular and people are very fickle.
So you can't control that?
No, and there's keyboard warriors and there's this. So I never let my mood or my worth or my anything depend on what people are saying online.
So you just focus on your thing. You just do your thing.
Yeah, just the real world.
And some people like it, some people don't.
So even now, like we're doing this interview, it's great. This is the real world right now. But then this will be put onto the online world, and I'm not too interested. I'm more interested in this conversation right now And then when people are discussing this interview later online, I'll be focused on the next conversation.
Right.
I'll be doing the next. So I don't get too obsessed with what's happening online. Despite me putting videos out every day and having a big online presence and very active on social media, at the end of the day, if my business is running well, if I'm helping people, I'm running nice events, I've got a beautiful family, I'm just focusing on that. And I don't get too hung up about this.
But I asked you off camera earlier whether you're somebody who has quite thick skin.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yes.
And do you think...
With people that I haven't got close in my life. I haven't got thick skin with my wife. If my wife raises her eyebrows, I'm like, "Are you okay, what's up?"
Great distinction. Yes.
Yeah.
But it's everybody out there.
Yeah.
Who there might be 10
people.
Control.
There might be 10 people where I've got thin skin. Where I'm really, to be honest, even you, like if I sense that you were upset with me, or if you, I'd be concerned. Like, hey, let's chat. Are we okay? You know, if I sensed there was an issue, I'd be wanting to sort it. I wouldn't just be like, I don't care.
Right.
But then online, or if I'm on stage, and I am thick-skinned.
So that's a really nice message, I think, for some people, because I think a lot of people out there, they kind of react to everything. There's a time to react and there's a time not to react. Oh, very good. So what do you think, somebody who's just starting out, forget about whether it's property or stocks or whatever, what would be your top advice to those people just starting out?
If you're just starting out, what I'd probably say is, rather than thinking about where you want to be in 10 years, think about where you want to be in 1 month. What do you want to achieve in 1 month? And then put down an action plan of 1 month.
1 month?
1 month.
Okay.
And then go do that. Because sometimes people people will disagree on me on this, but I used to have a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan. Now I don't, because I could write a 10-year plan and then I could achieve it in 6 months. And then what am I going to do? Just relax for 9.5 years. I'd rather say, actually, I'm going to put a plan, a short term. I don't plan for more than a year, really. I mean, I might a little bit, but generally speaking, like not in detail. So have a short plan and then go to town on it. So if someone's just starting out, okay, what are the next steps? Where could you feasibly, what could you do? Where do you want to be in a month's time? Okay, I want to have one property, or I want to be competent in stocks so that I can actually do my first trade. Okay, so if that's where you want to be, then what activity do you need to do over the next month to make that happen? I need to do this, go to this course, read this book, meet up for coffee with this person, set up an account. Okay, then go do that. That's
do you know what I love about that is that it's measurable. Whereas if you say 5 years, you have to wait 5 years to see whether you've achieved it. Whereas 1 month, I was expecting you to say a year or 2 years, but 1 month, then in 4 weeks you'll know, and then you can adapt.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. What else would you say?
I'd say if you're just starting out, I mean, always important to get around people, get around good people. People that are starting out doing anything new. Like when I went on my property course, when I started out and I used my paper and money, people said, people would tell me, oh, you shouldn't really do that, or that's really risky. What are you doing spending all that money?
Yeah.
So people will, when you start out, and you've got to expect people will, sometimes because they want to protect you, sometimes because your success will remind them of their lack of, or your taking action will remind, but there will be people that are going to try and bring you down.
Yes.
So I would say expect that, and make sure that when you're starting out, you surround yourself with people that actually want you to succeed. I think that's really important.
Did you do that, or did people try and drag you down?
I had a mixture.
Okay, so you did have people who...
Yeah, I did. I mean, my stepdad and my mum, they really supported me. Fantastic. I did have people that really didn't support me. I had a mixture. And some of the people that supported me in the early days then didn't support me a bit later on. Okay, you got enough houses now.
Yeah.
Which is really
for them, it's too much, right?
Yep.
Yeah. You got enough for them.
Good for you, man. You got your first house at 17. Woo! Yeah. Oh, wow, you got 6 now at 19. All right, you got enough now. You're good. Okay, you don't let money change you though. Be careful. And it's like, wow, you were like my biggest supporter in the early days. And then other people, never try and win people over too much. Like I see people and they're saying, I just need to persuade my wife, or I just need to.
There's that thing you were talking about again. They're trying to hold on too much, and then they lose their identity trying to.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to let go. That's hard though, right?
Yeah, it is. Because ultimately, I never describe my wife as my other half, because she's her person, I'm my person. So we're one, but we're also one alone as well. So and you just got to take responsibility for your own life, and rather than, and people wait around, they're starting out there waiting for their friend or waiting for their husband or waiting, and it's like, you don't wait for anyone. This is your life.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
you don't seem to wait around for anybody. Like, you just seem to get an idea and you go for it. It's almost like you don't even care what the result is. I mean, I've seen some of your videos. You don't do you really care what the result is, or it's more about the doing of it?
Are you on about of the video or just generally?
Just generally.
I mean, of course I care about the result, but I don't overthink things, because the most dangerous place to be is to stand still. So if you're thinking too much, just do it. And
You could kind of think yourself out of anything, couldn't you?
But also, if you step out in the wrong direction, you can always change your, if you can always change your movement. But if you're just standing still, thinking about stuff, like if you're worrying, should I do stocks or should I do property? You could think about it forever. Just choose one, choose the wrong one.
Yeah.
And just go and do it.
Brilliant.
And then after a month, if it's the wrong one, then you can slip into the other. It doesn't matter, but just do something.
But do you think you need to have this thing, which I think most people are missing, or maybe they're not? Let's have that discussion. Confidence.
Confidence comes from knowledge.
Confidence comes from knowledge.
Yeah. Samuel, Can you help me become more confident? I'm just not confident in myself. You're not confident because you don't know what you're doing. You probably shouldn't be confident. If I were you, I'd be very unconfident too. So what you need is the knowledge. See, if I'm playing a board game, I don't know the rules, I'm going to be really unconfident about my win, and I should be. Whereas if I learn the rules and I know exactly what to do, exactly where to put what to put where, suddenly I'm like, oh, I'm confident. So I think and it's the same in business. If you know what you're doing, then confidence comes. You don't need a mentor and someone to give you. You just need to know what to do. You just need to be trained.
But hold on, then you do need a mentor. Or is it a coach?
Well, you might. Okay,
well, of course, you need something.
You need to be trained.
Yeah.
You might need to read the book, or you might need to attend the class, or you might need to. But you don't need someone to, sort of like coach you through it and tell you how great you are. And I don't think I don't need that.
What do you think your top beliefs are for success? Like, what belief do you have about yourself?
Yeah.
About.
Okay, I believe that I'm not better than anybody, but no one's better than me.
Wow. Okay.
So if it's been done, I can do it.
Okay. That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Go on.
I'm serious. Like, okay, you're on stage in front of 500 people at the Millionaire Mind Intensive. I'm 18. Okay, well, if he learned to do that and if he can impact them people, then I can, because he's not better than me.
Brilliant. And it doesn't take it away from me, you doing it.
No,
It's
but then
brilliant.
I'm on stage and I'm teaching people, and I don't think I'm better than anyone in the audience. So, I think
You maybe know more about
I
a
might
certain
know more,
subject, but you're not better.
but I'm not better because they can figure that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
What other beliefs do you think that you have that make you successful?
I think I just believe in myself, and I just think money doesn't define you, and it's just I just think having a belief in yourself.
Okay, so I was trying to allude to that earlier with confidence. Is believing in yourself slightly different than confidence?
Okay.
Self-esteem, confidence?
Okay, so confidence is, I shouldn't be confident at this because I don't know about it, but I have the confidence that I can go and get the knowledge and I can do it.
So confidence in yourself
Confidence
rather
in
than
yourself.
confidence in the matter. Okay.
Yeah,
Subject.
I think they are different.
Yeah.
So if you said to me, "Hey, let's go and play a game of golf," I wouldn't be feeling very confident about that because I'm not great at golf.
Okay.
But but I've got the confidence that I could be great if I really wanted to.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But self-belief is something that you have.
Yeah.
Okay, what's self-belief and how can people get more self-belief?
I mean, self-belief. For me, self-belief is. I don't know how you can. I don't even know the answer to that.
But it's so foundational, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. I don't know whether I can even answer that well. I mean, how can you get self-belief? Just act as if you've got it, even if you haven't, I guess.
Okay. How do you do that?
By rather than worrying about whether you have it or not. What do you want to achieve? Just go do it. Stop overthinking it.
Yeah, but they might not like me, or I might get criticised.
Yeah.
It's so much easier not doing anything. Actually, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week, next year, next
I
life.
mean, that way of thinking, like, if you care what other people think, you just can't. It's just game over.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because when you become successful, you don't get rejected that much. when I started all over again from scratch, that was when I remembered what rejection feels like. I remember thinking, I haven't been this rejected in a decade.
Okay.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
It's something that you can lose.
So I mean, we better tell the people watching this what you did. You really put your
money where my mouth is.
I was going to say balls on the line. Okay.
All right, all that.
Money where your mouth is. By literally, I think it was £50, and you had a week to make it from scratch.
Yeah, I got dumped in a random location where I didn't know the area
with a very dodgy wig,
dressed in disguise, with an old yellow banger car, £50 in my pocket, and genuinely, when I left my house to go and do the challenge, Amanda, my wife, was just crying because she knew I was not allowed to come home. I'd been cut off from my bank account, I'd been cut off from everything, and I wasn't allowed home until I'd become financially free. i.e., I had enough passive income through property to cover the average person's life, which is £2,000 a month.
What were you trying to achieve with that?
I was trying to achieve, because I became financially free so young and so long ago, and now I'm doing property. So many people say, oh, but the market's different now. Or, oh, it's different for me because I haven't got any money. Or, oh, yeah, but the thing is, and they have all these excuses. So I took everybody's excuse and I put it upon myself to inspire people and to show people that actually it really is possible, and also to challenge
if you have
myself.
the knowledge, though, right?
If you have the knowledge.
Okay, because without the knowledge,
the knowledge is it.
Right.
And I always say knowledge and skill is more important than how much money you have right now. So yeah, that's what I did. So I spent. And I remember saying to Amanda, I was like, I genuinely hope to see you at Christmas. Like, I didn't know when I was, and I just booked months off of. I did not know whether I would be coming home anytime soon. Mm-hmm. But I achieved financial freedom, and I did it in a week, 7 days, which is just ridiculous. And it made BBC News.
Yeah, you had like way over 1 million hits.
Yeah, 1.5 million views on YouTube.
Yeah.
I was on BBC News, 6 o'clock news, Midlands Today.
Yeah.
It was all over the newspapers, and it was just incredible. And as a result of that has helped many people get their life sorted out, their finances sorted out, and they've achieved so much
because you gave them belief.
I gave them belief, yeah. And I also, in the documentary, showed them step by step exactly what I was doing.
Okay, but let's just say that they did watch the documentary 10 times, right?
Yeah.
Which people wouldn't, right? But it's in there, so why not?
Yeah.
Slow it down, watch it again, take notes, etc. And then take action on it. But they might not have, and I'm coming back to it again, that self-belief in themselves to do it.
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? I am a property investor, and I'm also a trainer, and I teach people about property. And I don't really teach people about self-belief much, because my attitude is, and there's some people that do, and there's people that run courses on self-belief and confidence. I don't do that. I just think, I'll just teach the skills. If you've got the confidence and the wherewithal and the tenacity and the courage to apply these principles, then you're going to be successful. If you haven't, then you're not. So I don't really know that much about confidence and self-belief, and I don't know much about it. All I know is property. That's it. So, and I say anyone can do this, and then sometimes say, yeah, but they can't. That's not true. I've been challenged on this. Even my pastor, we have arguments, and he says, no, anyone can do it there because they haven't got what it takes. And it's like, but they can.
Oh, so that's interesting. They haven't got what it takes. So he's talking about the mindset again. He's talking about the 80%.
But I'm saying they can, though. They might not.
Yeah,
but
so you're saying they could, but well, I guess, I mean, this is a really interesting discussion, especially, because of what you just said, because if you believe that 80% of success really is mindset and you're teaching 20%.
But here's the thing, right? When I show people the steps and the skills, what to do, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
A, B, C. What happens is people's mindset changes, because when they see how it's done, then they have confidence. Now, some people, maybe not. Maybe some people are just so, screwed up in here, or so worried about. Because the thing is, right, here's the thing.
There's 10 million reasons why.
Yeah, but if I show someone, do this, 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 and then you're going to make some money. Mm-hmm.
They change the recipe immediately.
Yeah, but it's
you say
funny.
do A, B, C, and they'll go, well.
You can't work out. Jim Rohn says, don't sign up for the class. Listen, I was stopped by a homeless guy, okay, and he said to me, please can I have £2? I'm starving and I'm homeless. I said, are you really homeless? He said, yeah. I said, okay. I said, I'll give you £2. Here's £2. I gave him £2 and I said, but if you come to my crash course, here's the details, turn up, stay for the whole 2 days, I'll give you £2,000. Here's your £2, but I'll give you £2,000 just for showing up.
Did he show up?
He didn't show up. Now I could go, why didn't he show up? Why didn't he? And I could go on and on thinking about it. But I'd rather not. I'd rather just focus on the people that do show up.
Right.
So I'm not really that concerned about the people that have, you know, the access to the training, have the access to the YouTube videos, are in the country. I mean, come on, we're in a country where there's so much opportunity. So if you have access to all the knowledge, all the training, all the books, you're in a first world country with the opportunities, like, and you can't become successful, then you are either really sucky or you just don't want it.
Right, and it's the sucky bit. That's the thing. So we very much go into the pain pleasure, because we think that there's two motivations. There's the running away from pain, and there's running towards pleasure. And what I believe that in the short term, people need more pain in order to move, and they need to be reminded of that pain, because what they do is they eat too much, they drink too much, they watch too much TV, they go out too much in order to hide that pain. Yeah. Instead of what I try and do is I try and say, no, actually, it sucks. Your situation sucks, and I try and give them some pain. Now I explain to them what I'm doing, so that they can give themselves more pain, so that they actually, I don't know, what do you think about that?
I don't know.
Okay, so you're just, look, here are the skills. Yeah. They work for me. If you follow them, you will as well. But whether you do it or not is kind of up to you. I'm not your dad.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And listen, at my events, like, I'll phone up an agent and I'll make an offer. I'll put forward.
So you do that live?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
And the agent will be like, "Oh no, we don't do that," and they'll put the phone down on me. And then I'll say, "Now look, guys, if you're not prepared to be told what I was just told, if for you that would be like, then you're in the wrong industry." Yeah. Because look, she just said no. Am I any poorer? Am I any weaker? Like, sorry, where's the wound?
So you do.
Where's the wound?
Then you do teach them mindset. That's mindset.
That is mindset.
You're preparing them.
Yeah. I think I do teach mindset, but it's very much by example and wrapped up in.
Even better. You maybe don't make it so overt as I do, but you basically like that, and then the learning goes in. Maybe
I probably do teach mindset.
I think you do.
I probably do.
I think I've seen clips of you.
I just don't deliberately do it. It just oozes out of me.
I remember this one time when you were on stage on crutches, and this guy.
I actually deleted that video.
Oh, did you?
It was getting too much hate.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I actually really liked that video.
Did you?
Yeah.
I actually deleted it. But yeah.
But it was the truth.
Yeah, because I just got back from Uganda. I'd lost 25% of my blood. I was told to stay in hospital, but I left to go and run an event.
Hold on, we got to tell people what this is all about. So you went to Uganda, you went on a waterfall, and you were in a boat.
Yeah.
With clients.
With my success students, we went out on a charity trip. It was the first day team building experience.
The boat capsizes, you went over the waterfall.
Fell down the waterfall, we're all injured. Luckily, no one was too injured apart from me.
You were massively injured.
My kneecap was shattered, all broken. I could see bones sticking out my knee. Blood shooting up, lost 25% of my blood.
I remember seeing pictures of your eyes.
Spent 10 days in Ugandan hospital with no food. They did the operation on me. Managed to get back to the UK. Was told I would never walk properly again. I'd always have a limp and a crutch, which was emotionally tough to be told that. And then 4 days later, was running an event, a training event, and there was a dude in the audience who was coming up with so many excuses, and I got up out of my wheelchair on my crutches.
You let rip.
And I just let rip, because he was just coming up with loads of excuses. But the thing is, the broken mindset.
But that's
the broken mindset.
What you did right there, because I remember the video. And that is mindset. Now, it could be that one person or somebody watching goes, "Wow, that's a bit tough." But I can promise you, there would have been 10 times that many people on the other side of the audience that went, "Oh, I got it now."
I feel like there and then on the day, everybody got it, including the guy. Yeah. And he actually thanked me for it. But then on the video, because it was almost out of context.
It's out of context.
People just think, "Whoa."
Totally out of context.
Me banging my crutches together.
4 minutes of but
Yeah.
it's out of context. That's the challenge with documentaries, right? That's the challenge with, because they're out of context.
Yeah.
Most things that you see on TV out of context. Most things that are reported about Donald Trump are totally out of context.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I agree. So, yeah, that was that. But I am, I'm allergic to not broke people, but broke-minded people. Like that whole coming up with excuses. And even when people come up to me and they say, and I'll stop them straight away. Samuel, I'm 19 years old and I haven't got any money. And what do I? And they're about to ask me, what advice would you give me? And I'll just say, just stop right there. Here's my advice. Don't go around saying I'm 19 and I haven't got money and I haven't. Stop right there. Rather than writing down rather than your mind having registered all the problems and all the reasons why you can't succeed, you've got to scrap that story and you've got to come up to what you have got going for you. So right now, tell me what you have got going for me. I'm not sure. Well, you're here at the event. Why are you here? I just really want to be successful. Okay, so straight away, you're being trained. You really have a burning desire to be successful. Like, this is the story that I want to hear. So don't come and say, I'm 19, I've got no money, and blah, 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 blah. What advice would you give me? Say to me, Samuel, I'm prepared to be trained. I'm really hungry. I've got a fire in my belly. I've got a lot of time on my hands because I've just finished school. What advice would you give me?
And that's the other side of the same coin. They just saw the other side. Because that's totally the other side, right?
Yeah.
I'm 19 years old. That's a truism. But I've got lots of time.
But even 19, the reason they're telling me they're 19 is because it's a disclaimer as to, I'm only 19. Don't tell me you're 9. I don't care.
Yeah, that's
You're not 19. You just are.
Do you think that is because we were talking about cause and effect. Do you think that is like the effect of a serious problem we have in society?
Yeah.
Which is, I'm just putting it out there, the lack of parenting.
I mean, I don't know if it's parenting. It might be everything. It's just the whole system and the whole. We are programmed and brainwashed to be poor, right from birth. The school education system, the banks, the media, the government. It is all there to brainwash us to be poor.
Yeah. And
I know that sounds outlandish or extreme, but it just is the case.
Yeah.
And I know this. Because I now I'm rich and I go in the meetings and I hear and the super rich want all the money and the super rich don't want the average person to be financially educated either. Yeah. And that's why we
just don't. Enough not to cause too much of a problem, just enough money to do that.
Just to comply.
Yeah.
Because the government cannot control you if you are financially free. So, hey, and the bank, why will the banks not give you a £20,000 loan to buy a property, but then they'll give it you to get married?
Yeah, that's right. They'll give you a loan for a new kitchen. Yeah. But not to invest in the stock market.
They'll give you a loan to go on holiday, but they'll tell you to invest it in a property is too risky. Come on!
It's ridiculous.
And they'll tell you to put your work hard, save up money and put it in the bank where it's safe. But they don't do that. They use your money on the very thing that they tell you is too risky to do.
That's right. Yeah.
Come on.
Right now, oil is at a price where I'm telling every single one of my graduates and demanding of my mentees that they get in and use the strategy that we use. And I'm angry if they don't. It is such a no-brainer investment right now.
Yeah.
And where they'd probably make, 10%. And what do you get in the bank? 1%, 0.5%?
If you're lucky, yeah, 0.5%.
In Germany, you're now paying the bank to hold the money.
It's just, people say to me, actually, I'm not doing too bad. I got a 0. I'm like, listen. If it starts with a 0, it's bad.
Wow. Do you know some people, they say, I wish the good old days, we were back to 4% or 5%. I said, what would you do with 5%? Just think about this, right? You need, in order to make 50 grand and have an okay life, and have choice whether you work or not, you need £1 million in the bank account at 5% to give you 50,000. So what is?
And if you have £1 million in the bank and then the bank goes bust, you'll be left with 75 grand. It's not safe.
Yeah.
It is not a safe place.
Because the government guarantees up to 80,000 or whatever.
It's like all the schemes, like the ISAs. You put money into an ISA, they call it a LISA, a lifetime ISA account, where the government say, save money, put it in the ISA, and then when you go to buy a house, we'll give you 25% top up, right, towards the house, which sounds generous on the government's part. But the reason is is because they want you to get into this small-mindedness. Save for a house to live in. I mean, and I know it's small-mindedness because they say you can't put more than $4,000 a year in there. So in your mind, it's like, okay, so I can't put more than $4,000 a year in, and I need to save up to buy, and I have to put it in a house to live in. I can't invest it. So straight away, you think $4,000 a year. So that means in probably about 6-7 years, I'll buy my first house. Straight away, they got you in that slow work rat race.
I've never understood that. It's the same with the pensions. You say, okay, most people have 30,000 in on average, because some people have nothing in their pension, but you can only put a certain amount in a year, and after 1.5 million, and it's going down and down and down and down every single year, then it all becomes taxable. So it's totally mixed messages.
Yeah, it is.
It's like
they want you to be slow and small-minded and dependent on them. Even with some of these schemes like the ISAs, they say, oh, and if a new government comes into power, we could change it.
Yeah. And then you think, shit, do I do it or don't I?
Well, it's just like,
it's
what?
mixed messages, yeah, totally.
What?
Yeah.
Just
By the way, I say to people, open up a trading and investing ISA, because you can put up to 20,000 per adult per household. So if we were married, then it would be, I could put in 20, put 20. If
I don't want to marry you, just share a bath. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens. Step at a success is happens one step at a time. And then if we have like a teenage son, like 18, etc., that's another 20,000. So that's 60,000 you could ferret away. But the strategies I teach are not saving. It's just a wrapper to invest and grow that money. It's supposed to grow, not stay there. What is with saving? I don't understand saving. I just don't get it.
No.
What are you saving for?
I used to think like that, but now it does not make
everybody.
any
I
sense.
used to think like that, of course.
Save money. What for?
Yeah.
What, so that
a rainy day?
So that it can just shrink as inflation goes up.
That's right. Yeah. And no one knows what inflation, the real inflation rate actually is. But let's say it's 5-6% or whatever, and we're getting 1% in the ISA. I mean, you're losing money every single year.
You put 50 grand in the bank, and then you wait 10 years. It's probably worth about 36 equivalent. You put it into a property, and not only does the property go up, but also, if you've bought smart, you've used a mortgage. So the money doesn't go up in value. Actually, the house goes up in value, which means you've suddenly got a lot of leverage.
Yeah.
So and that's one of the reasons I like property, because you can leverage so well as well. I know there's pros and cons. I've had debates about, is equity better than property?
I think property is great, as you know.
And I think stocks are great. And I think that ultimately, the best thing to invest in is what you know.
Exactly.
And I think that I know property really, really well.
Or whichever one you choose, right? Like you said, just choose one. Yeah. And if you don't like it, you can always go to the other one. But choose one. Imagine if Warren Buffett had never said, I don't know, I'm not going to do anything. He'd be doing the tills at Kmart.
But I think they're two complement one another anyway. You can do both, but if you're not doing either right now, just pick one and just go for it.
Yeah, we do both. You do, but you're in cryptos as well.
Yeah, it helped with your help and advice. I'll text you. When should I buy? What's going on?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
brilliant. Anything else you'd like to say to the audience to help them be even more successful than they are right now? Yeah,
you know what? I think what I would say is just start. Just start. Get good people around you and have fun along the way. Enjoy the process, because sometimes when I look at where I'm at now, the success, the money, whatever, I look back and I think actually it was really good fun building it up. So enjoy it. Don't be thinking, when I get to this point, then I'll be happy. When I get this much money, then I'll be happy. Just enjoy the process. And I say process, not journey, because journey would say, let's see where I go. Whereas process is, if I do this is going to happen. So enjoy that process.
Very nice. Thanks, Simon.
Hey, welcome, man. Thanks for having me.